Thank you. It's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. You guys having a good night? Beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit weird right now. A little bit strange. Just because, like, before I came to the show tonight, my 65-year-old upstairs neighbor saw me naked. So that was pretty uncomfortable. You know? I don't know. I think she did. It says the photo went through, but... she has not responded yet. So dating's hard. You know? Gotta put yourself out there sometimes, you know? I used to live in China. Has anybody ever been to China? One guy clapping awkwardly in the front. Good. Used to live in China. I lived there for a long time. I lived there for 7 years, all the way up until COVID happened. And then I was like, this is a good time to leave. I feel like I've seen it all, you know? But then I moved away. I moved to Taiwan, which is where my girlfriend was from at the time. And I thought it'd be fun, you know? I thought it'd be great. We were like moving in with her family. But it kind of sucked because, like, we couldn't have sex right away, you know? Because, like, her parents were always there and I'm gay and there's no, like... no alone time, you know? Vaginas are gross, and happy to be back, you know. No, not gay, just a joke. But I was born in the 90s, though. Do we have any 90s babies in the crowd? A couple people? Good. So you guys know, if you grew up in the 90s, when we were growing up, if someone did something slightly gay or homoerotic, the instinctual homophobic response would be to say, no homo. Do you guys remember this? That was what you say. You say no homo to let your friends know it wasn't gay. Just in case they caught you, you know? That's what we used to do. You say no homo. I think it's dumb. It's homophobic. I feel like we moved past it. But I learned recently that the new kids, the Gen Zs, they have a new word, right? They don't say no homo anymore. Does anybody know what it is? Pause. There we go. Pause. Thank you very much. They say pause. That's the new no homo. And again, I think it's dumb, it's homophobic, you know? So to do my part, I've taken pause into my vocabulary, but I added a little twist on it, right? So now when something slightly gay or homoerotic happens, I say pause. Now keep going. You know, just a little zhuzh, you know? It's fun. It's a good time. My brother is gay, though. He's a gay man, and that's what they call him. And he has a new boyfriend. He's dating a new guy, and I was asking him. I was saying, you know, like, I feel like guy-girl relationships, you know, girls are usually the crazy one, you know. You guys are allowed to be, you know. We're pieces of shit, you know. But I was asking him. I was like, you're in a guy-guy relationship, like. How does that work? Who's the crazy one? And he was like, why does there have to be a crazy one? And I was like, oh no, it's you. You're a crazy bitch. You're just a nightmare to wake up to, you know? All right, enough of the gay jokes. We'll move on from that. I had a Danish for breakfast this morning. His name was Sebastian. That was the last one. Had to get it in there. Do you guys like fun facts? They're like, yeah, switch it up, clown. Okay. I read a fact the other day. You guys will like this one. I read a fact that if you have the hiccups and you can't get rid of them, you can stimulate your anus. And that'll get rid of them for you. And it doesn't work, but... I do have a very specific fetish now, so it's fun to play with, you know? Nice. I was just thinking, like, who figured that out? You know what I mean? Like, I'm imagining like two scientists in a lab. One guy's like, we tried everything. And the other guy's like, not everything. And we could solve world hiccups right now. If you let me fuck you in the ass. You know what I mean? All right. That joke usually does better when people put stuff in their ass before. So thank you for laughing. I appreciate it. You guys are a fun crowd. Another fun fact, I learned this one when I was living in China. In China, if you are a woman and you're over 30 and you're still not married yet, in China they call you a leftover woman. That's the name they came up with. It's pretty brutal. It's used in like a derogatory way, but I never understood that because like, I love leftover Chinese, you know? Like that's my favorite kind, you know? You just warm it up in the morning. Tastes better, you know? Yeah, lived in China for a long time. I was teaching English over there. I was helping them take over, and it was a good gig. It was fun. It was a little challenging sometimes. One of my first classes I ever had, I walked into the class, a couple 8-year-olds sitting there, and there was one girl sitting in the front row, and she was looking really sad. You know, she was like about to cry. She was having a bad day. So I just went up to her and I was like, "Hey, Chen Chen, what's going on? Are you okay?" And she was like, "Last night, Mommy and Daddy told me that they're gonna have a new baby, and that means that they don't want me anymore." And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I'm a professional. I can handle this, you know? So I just bent down and I was like, "Listen, Chen Chen, I'm way too high right now, okay? I literally just smoked, and you are fucking up the vibe. So cut that shit out, all right? Let's watch Frozen." No, it was challenging. I was teaching one class one time, a couple 4-year-olds, and a 4-year-old Chinese boy just pulled his dick out right in the middle of class. He was just pinching like a little dumpling, you know, like it was crazy. They didn't teach you how to deal with that in the training, you know. I didn't know what to do, so I just went by my instincts, and I just went up and just pulled his pants up, you know. That's good, right? Right? I just went back to teaching the class. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, there's like CCTV footage. Like someone could easily just take that and just play it backwards of me just like... B. And that's why I'm not in China anymore. That's why I had to leave. You guys, I just asked my girlfriend to marry me. Thank you. She said no, but I think I'll ask in a couple weeks, maybe when she's not so grumpy. No, she did say yes. It was beautiful. It was magical. We were in Paris. I proposed in Paris, the city of love, they call it. Yeah, pretty good. I feel like they should rename that though. I feel like they should call it the city of smells. I don't know if you've been to Paris. There's a funk in the air. I don't know if it's the cheese or the people, but it was gross. I'm not even joking. Second night I was in Paris, I got so drunk I threw up in the street. It smelled better. It was an improvement. It was the craziest thing. But no, we were in Paris. We were celebrating. It was magical. We were at a bar, and this Greek guy came up to us. We met this Greek guy. You know how intrusive they are. And we were like, "Hey, what's up?" And I humored him. I was like, "What do you do?" And he was like, "I work in Tantra." Does anybody know what that is? No? I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And he was like, "Have you ever heard of tantric sex?" And I have, but I wanted to hear what this freak show had to say. So I was like, "No." I was like, "What is it?" And he was like, "Here's the deal. When people are having sex nowadays, regularly, they're not connecting. No one's connecting anymore. But with tantric sex, you can have sex for hours and days, and if you're really good at it, months, without ever coming." I was like, "You don't come?" And he was like, "At the end, you come, and fireworks." And I was like, "Dude, have you tried regular sex?" You could bang that out in 15 minutes. I don't know. That's insane. Months? Months. I have a job. I I can't come back to work after a month and they're just like, where were you? And you're just like, I just had an above average orgasm. You should try it. It's pretty cool. We had a great trip. We went to Italy after Paris. It was beautiful. I was very excited. Never been to Italy. I don't know if you've been to Italy, maybe you guys know this, but in Italy, if you have to use a public restroom, they will have a toilet. Great, you know? They will not have a toilet seat. That's an Italian thing. They do not, the toilet seats break, they don't replace them. You'll just get there, it's just a bowl, you know? And I was like, what is, you know, I went to Italy and I was like, this is a beautiful country with beautiful people. And then I took a shit and I was like, this is a garbage country with garbage people. I'm never coming back here to take a shit as long as I live, you know? But no, great trip, got engaged, it was beautiful. My lovely fiance, she works for the Vancouver Police Department. It's all right, we'll edit in applause in the post. Yeah, no, she works for the VBD. It's pretty cool. It's weird. I don't know. I want to support my partner, you know, but it's a weird time to support the police right now. I don't know if you've been following. They're up to some cool stuff, but it's awkward, you know. A lot of people are like, "Fuck the police." I'm like, hell yeah, every night. You know what I mean? Like, I'll fuck the police. I'll fuck them as much as they want. As long as the police don't have a headache, let's do it. Let's go. Her whole family's here right now. I apologize. Surprise, we're having premarital sex. It's nice to find your person. It's a good feeling. Do we have a round of applause? Do we have any couples here tonight? Couple people? Nice couples. You guys are in a couple? Yep. How long have you guys been together?
3 years.
3 years. Not bad. Guys, come on. How about you guys? How long have you guys been together?
2 years.
2 years. Not as good as 3, but pretty good. So we got 3 years, 2 years. Some of you will never know love, you know, and that's okay. We saw who didn't clap, but it's nice. It's a good feeling. I'm just glad I found my person, just because like I'm happy to be outside of the dating pool. I'm retired, you know. It's great. Does anybody still date? Is anybody in the apps? Is anybody sad?
Yeah.
Nice. It's brutal. It's terrible out there. When I was still single, I was on Tinder one time, and I was talking to this girl, and it was going well. You know, there's vibes. And I said I'd love to take you out sometime, maybe get some dinner, some drinks. And she texted me back. She was like, I was thinking more of like a hike. I was like, a hike? On the first date? What, are you trying to get murdered? Like, that's a terrible idea. You don't even know me. Like, I'm not a murderer, but if I was, you're kind of doing all the work right now. This is all the heavy lifting, you know? Now I just have to murder you. That's the last step. And honestly, kind of want to murder you, just to teach you a lesson. Just to drive it home. Just to make sure you don't do that again, dum-dum. No, she's still alive, probably, but it was tough. It was tough on the apps. I went on a date with a flat earther once. Yeah, I went on a date with someone who believes the earth is flat. To be fair, in my defense, I did not know she was a flat earther when I asked her out, which made it even more awkward that I took her to Science World. I was like, she's gonna hate this. You know? It's literally shaped like the world, you know? But it was weird, like the whole time, like she was loving it. She was like, this is great. I was like, yeah, it's true. You should. You should look into it. It's pretty fun. But it's weird being on a date with a flat earther, because like the whole time I was just sitting there, I'm just like racking my brain. I'm like, how misinformed does someone have to be before I won't have sex with them? You know, like what's the limit? And turns out my limit's not flat earther. That's not my limit, you guys. I figured that out about myself. Also, I was like, if she believes the earth is flat, I could definitely convince her I'm allergic to condoms. You know, like we can all play make believe, you know? The last girl I went on a date with before I met my fiance, we were at a bar and we were getting to know each other. And she was like, "What are you into? What do you like to watch?" And I was like, "Oh, I like to watch the UFC, like mixed martial arts." And she was like, "Ew, that's disgusting. How could you watch that? It's so violent." I was like, "All right, my bad. What do you like to watch?" And she was like, "I like serial killer documentaries." I was like, "All right. Want to go for a hike, you fucking hypocrite? Let's get out of here, you crazy cat." When me and my fiance, when we first started dating, we wanted to go on a beach date. That was a little fun date we had planned. And I asked her, I was like, "What's your favorite beach in Vancouver?" And she said, "Wreck Beach." Famous nude beach in Vancouver. And I was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Do you go nude when you go?" And she was like, "Yeah, I go tops off for sure." And she was like, "How about you?" And I was like, "I actually go bottoms off, shirt on." It's kind of a Winnie the Pooh situation. It's fun. The kids like it. It's good. Are you guys a kinky crowd? Do you guys like to come and shit? All right, sweet. I have a friend, she's a psychologist, and she told me something recently. This is a true fact. She told me that kinks, sexual kinks, are hereditary. Just let that sink in a little bit. Sexual kinks are hereditary. Not gonna lie, weird way to find out your dad likes to get pegged. That's a weird way. Weird way to find out your mom had to spit in your dad's mouth and call him a bitch to make him come. You know what I mean? Don't groan, fuck you. You guys are sick. That was weird. Okay, that was a weird one. I feel like we need a palate cleanser after that one. When I was growing up, tell me if your guys' grandparents did this. When I was growing up, my grandmother, she put plastic all over the furniture when I was a kid. Did you guys' grandparents do that? Yeah. Common thing, yeah. I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, why did she do that? And then I realized, I think it was because she was a squirter. I think that's... I think she was a big old squirt bag, protecting the furniture. I don't know. Once I realized that, a lot of other things started to add up. Because like when I was a kid, I'd go to my grandma's house. She'd always stuff me full of like snacks and treats and cookies. And at the time, I thought she was just spoiling me. But I think I realize now she was just trying to give me a tummy ache on purpose so I'd leave and she could fuck my grandpa again, Turn that Chesterfield into an indoor slip and slide, Are we still having fun or what? What's going on here? I like how you guys just realized that your grandma probably squirted. That's awesome. Do you guys ever walk down the street and you'll see two ugly people and a couple and you think, oh, that's nice, they found somebody, But then you see them pushing a stroller and you're just like, ah, great, they made another one. You guys ever think that? But then you look a little closer and you're like, oh, it's just a dog. It's fine. It's just a dog. There's nothing to worry about, But then you look a little closer and you're like, nah, that was a kid. That's gonna be some tough school photos one day, Do we have any astrology people in the crowd? Anybody believe in astrology? A couple of people? Nice. That's awesome. I'm not gonna shit. I love people that believe in astrology. I have noticed, though, there's one common denominator with every single person I met who believes in astrology, and that's shitty parents. Every single person I met who believes in astrology has at least one shitty parent. No one who's raised with love and support believes the stars made them that way. They give credit where credit's due. But astrology people are like, I am the way I am because of the stars. Couldn't possibly be how I was raised. My dad's a piece of shit with a drinking problem, but I have trouble trusting people because I was born in July. It's just what it is. It's not me, it's the stars. Just take no responsibility. I love it. It's great. I'm very poor. Do we have any poors in the crowd? Love how proud you guys are. This is awesome. Very poor. I was watching a commercial for Scotiabank the other day. I was watching TV. There's a Scotiabank commercial. It said Scotiabank, you're richer than you think. Right? Pretty cool. So I went to Scotiabank and I was like, is that true? And they looked at the numbers and they were like, no, that's not true. I'm sorry. You're actually just as poor as you thought you were. You're actually more poor. This meeting cost $15. So very poor. So poor. I was reading the news the other day and I saw this article and the headline was like 90% of the wealth in Canada is now in the hands of homeowners. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I click on the article and it takes me to a website and the website was like, you got to pay $1 to read the article. And I was like, I can't do that. And I was like, wow, I'm so poor, I can't even afford to read how poor I am. That's a whole new low, you know? Very poor. I was walking down the street, I saw a sign. It was a sign for the lottery. It said $70 million. I was like, oh my God, 70 million? Can you imagine? And then I was like, honestly, $70 would be nice right now. That'd really move the needle for me financially, you know? I could put a down payment on some food, you know, that'd be good. I've been stealing food. You guys start stealing yet? Couple people? Nice. You should try it. My friend, he gave me a great tip for stealing. He taught me that a 5-pound family-sized lasagna costs the same amount as 5 pounds of onions if you use self-checkout. Did you guys know that? Self-checkout, it works great. Dude, when I'm at self-checkout, I'm like Gwen Stefani. I'm like, this shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Never been caught. Works great. No, very, very poor. I'm not as poor as I'm letting off right now. Because I just got my tax return check in the mail. Did anybody get their tax returns? A couple people, nice. I got a nice little bump. I got a $2,500 check from the government. Not bad. When you're poor and you get a $2,500 check from the government, you feel like a fucking millionaire. It was crazy. I was looking at the check and I was like, oh my God, should I get pants? Like this is life-changing money. Everything's different now, you know? I could get a third pair of pants. By the way, ladies, I don't know if you know this, but guys only have 2 pairs of pants. If you're dating a guy and he has more than 2 pairs of pants, that guy's gay. Or he can afford pants. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. I was talking to my vegan friend the other day. I have a vegan friend. She's vegan, and she said something crazy to me. She said that vegan people are better people just by virtue of being vegan. She said that's all you got to do. Be a vegan. You're a better person. What do you guys think about that? Got a meat eater in the front row. That's awesome. Yeah, she said that, and I was like, I disagree. Because my dad was vegan, and he abandoned me. One day he went out for almond milk and never came back. You know what I mean? Fuck you, Dad. That was the squirter's daughter, by the way, just so you, because you were wondering. I went for some Jamaican food the other day. I was getting some Jamaican food, and I was at this restaurant, and they had a sign on the wall, and it was a picture of Usain Bolt, and it said, Jamaica, the fastest people in the world. I was like, that's cool, you know? But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's crazy that Jamaica has the fastest people in the world. But if you go to a Jamaican restaurant, you'll get some of the slowest service you've ever had in your life. It's wild, you know? Like at the Olympics, no one's faster than the Jamaicans, you know? Wagwan in the kitchen, you know? Like, what's going on? What are you guys doing back there? I'm hungry. No, I love Jamaicans. They're fantastic. Speaking of Jamaicans, you guys like Drake? You guys catch the amazing rap beef that happened this past year? A couple people. I'm a big hip hop fan. There was a great rap beef that happened. If you didn't know what happened, I'll catch you up. It was awesome. It was Drake and Kendrick, right? Two juggernauts. Kendrick fired the first shot. Kendrick was like, I'm an artist, you're a pop star. Everyone was like, all right, not bad, you know? What's Drake gonna say? Drake fired back. Drake was like, oh yeah? Well, I make more money than you. I'm world famous. Everyone was like, all right, not bad. What's Kendrick gonna say? Kendrick fired back. Kendrick was like, oh yeah? Well, you're a pedophile. Everyone was like, whoa! Okay, it's like that. What's Drake gonna say? Drake fired back. Drake was like, oh yeah? Well, you beat your wife. But then the hip-hop community was like, we actually don't care about that as much as you think. I don't know if you've been following hip-hop, but beating your wife, pretty cool, you know? Have you heard Chris Brown sing? Like, it's pretty... So, pedophiles, worse. So Kendrick won that one. It was a great rap beef. That whole beef got me thinking about pedophiles, actually. Just thinking about them, you know, I was thinking about... Is there any pedophiles here? You gotta check. It's always good to check. No, I was thinking about pedophiles recently, and it occurred to me that most pedophiles look like pedophiles. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very rare you see a pedophile in the news and you're like, what, him? No! Not the handsome guy, you know? It's always like a creep, you know? So this is what I was thinking. This is what we should do. I think we should round up all the people that look like pedophiles. Round them all up, you know? And we put them on some sort of game show. We call it like The Price is Pedophile or Jeopardy or something. I don't know. We'll fix the name later, but we put them on a game show, and on the game show, you gotta prove that you're not a pedophile. That's how you win. And if you're not a pedophile, we congratulate you and give you like a coupon to a haircut or something, you know, something chill. But if you are a pedophile, I think we should stitch all the pedophiles' mouths to the other pedophiles' assholes and just make like a giant human pedophile centipede, you know? Because that way, your parents don't have to worry about multiple pedophiles. It's just like one long, giant pedophile. It's just like easier to keep track of, you know? Your parents could be like, don't go outside. The worms out there. So, you know, like it's like an easier system, I feel like, than making them register, you know? If you're not laughing, you're a pedophile. Let's just put that out there right now, okay? I see a couple staunch faces, and it's concerning me, okay? But no pedophiles, that's good. How about racist? Anybody racist? Some wild reactions right there. How about that? I'll make it easy. Anybody ever been accused of being racist? One person, good. So one person and everyone else liars. That's awesome. I got accused of being racist one time. I'll tell you the story. I was in my hometown. I was in Kelowna, and I was at a club, and I was outside in the smoking area, and I saw these two Asian women speaking Mandarin, right? And I speak a little bit of Mandarin. So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. You know, I'm gonna go up to them, use the little Chinese I know, and I'm gonna impress the fuck out of them, right? That was my plan. So I went up to them, and they were chatting, and I said, hey, ni hao. 你们叫什么名字? Which in Chinese is like, hey, hello, what are your names? And the one girl just snapped at me, and she was like, that's racist, asshole. And I was like, what? And she was like, we're from Vancouver. You think just because we're Asian and we're speaking Chinese, that we're Chinese? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of all the information I had. I don't know. If I saw a white guy speaking German, I'm not going to be like, annyeonghaseyo, like South Korean, you know? Like, I just went off my inside, I don't know. I was hanging out with my Muslim friend the other day, and he just got done celebrating Ramadan. You guys know what Ramadan is? I did not know. I was not aware of Ramadan. It was pretty cool to hear him talk about it. They fast, you know, for 30 days while the sun is up. They don't need anything. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I was like, have you been doing that your whole life? And he was like, well, not my whole life. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you don't start celebrating Ramadan until you've produced sperm. And I was like, what? And he's like, as a man, you don't start celebrating until you've produced sperm for the first time. And I was like, dude, that's the craziest way to tell your family you just started jerking off. That's insane. Your mom's like, son, do you want some food? You're like, no, I'm gonna go take another shower. I love Islam. This is my favorite. And praise Allah, you know? I kind of want to talk about something serious. Can we do that for a second? Is that cool? Nice. So guys, you know this. The men in the room, you know this, but the women, maybe you don't know. But when guys go to the bathroom to take a piss at the urinal, there's a specific set of rules that we all know and we follow, right? And no one taught us these rules, but we just know them, right? And that's when, if you go up to the urinal, you can look forward, and you can look down at your own dick, and you can even look side to side, but you cannot look to the side and look down. That's the rules. Every guy knows this, right? But the reason I bring this up is because there's a lot of guys out there recently, I'm not gonna name any names, but they're out there. But there's a lot of guys out there recently where I've been at the bathroom, I've been at the urinal, I'm posted up, and then a guy will come in, he'll come up next to me, and he'll give me one of these. And he'll just lean. What the fuck are you doing, dude? I wasn't gonna look at your dick. But now when you go like this, I really wanna look at your dick. I really wanna see what the fuck is so interesting. Pause, by the way, all right? But what are you doing over there? Is it big? Is it small? And I'm gonna look at it. I'll buy a drone. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll figure it out. I was reading the news the other day, and I saw this headline, and it said 1/3 of surveyed Canadians would support assisted suicide for homeless people. 1/3 of surveyed Canadians would support assisted suicide for homeless people. I read that and I was like, who is asking these survey questions? That's pretty intense. I don't even know how you ramp up to that. The survey guy's just like, are you concerned about homelessness? And you're like, yep. And they're like, cool. Do you think we should help them kill themselves? You're like, whoa! Yes, but what the fuck, dude? That's crazy to ask me that. What the hell? All right, I can feel the vibe shifting here a little bit after that one. That was weird. I'm sorry. I don't want to bum you guys out. I know suicide is like a tough thing to joke about because obviously everyone knows someone who probably should have. And it's just it's just tough to laugh with hate in your heart, you know what I mean? Okay, that one was fucked up. That was a weird. You should probably go to therapy. That was not good. Is anybody in therapy? You're in therapy? Nice. We should share. I can't afford it. I've just been raw dogging my anxiety, for the last little bit. I figured out a life hack. If you can't afford therapy, you can just book job interviews. You can just book a job interview. It works the same. You sit down, they're like, so tell me about yourself, Will. You're like, it's not going well. I don't even know where I am. I've got the hiccups, and my grandma's a squirter, and there's a lot going on right now. I'm a dog sitter. That's my day job. I dog sit for people. Do you have any dog owners in the crowd? People. What's your dog's name, sir? Steve? That's a good name. That's a good name for a dog. I'm not gonna shit on. I like human named dogs. The reason I ask is, as a dog sitter, I run into a lot of pet owners that have really stupid names for their pets. So now I have this bad habit. If I'm walking down the street and I see a missing pet poster and the pet has a really dumb name, I rip the poster down. I go, fuck. If you named your pet Professor Whiskers, it deserves a new life. That's how I feel about it. But I've been doing this other fun thing as a dog sitter because I saw this thing in the news. This woman found out she had a medical condition in like a really weird way. She got on a flight, and this other lady got on the flight, sat down next to her, and this other lady had a medical alert dog. And throughout the flight, the dog kept like alerting to this other woman. So halfway through the flight, the woman who owned the dog was like, "Hey, I don't mean to be weird, but you should get your heart checked, because that's what this dog is trained for." So the woman went and got her heart checked, and she found out she had an irregular heartbeat. And I was like, that's a crazy way to find that out, you know? But since I'm a dog sitter, what I've been doing is I've just been taking every dog I get onto the SkyTrain, and then anytime it barks at someone, I'm just like, "Hey, this is really weird, but you have herpes. You should probably get checked out. It's a herpes dog. It knows what it knows, you know?" Thank you guys so much. You guys have had a lot of fun. Thank you. Appreciate it.